Yep.
Every single day, out in the middle of the ocean, with no port in sight and no laundromat for hundreds of miles, the U.S. Navy finds a way to wash over 15,000 pounds of clothes. That's not a week's worth. That's one day. 6,000 sailors. One ship. Mountains of uniforms, bedding, towels, and flight suits, all processed deep inside the hull of an aircraft carrier, around the clock, without stopping. Most people never think about this. But if this system fails, the mission fails. And in 30 years of naval history, there is one incident that proved exactly how dangerous a laundry room can be. Stay with me, because what happens inside these rooms is far more intense than anyone talks about. The scale. Let's start with the numbers, because nothing prepares you for how big this operation actually is. A Nimitz-class aircraft carrier carries a total of roughly 5,000 personnel when fully deployed. That includes 3,000 sailors who run the ship, 1,500 air wing personnel, and around 500 in various support roles. A Ford-class carrier like the USS Gerald R. Ford operates with about 4,500 total, though with a smaller permanent crew of around 2,600 due to advanced automation. Every single one of those people generates laundry. Every day. The U.S. Navy's own technical standards require that every ship process a minimum of 24 pounds of laundry per week per person. That covers one change of work clothing, underwear, and socks per day, plus towels and other linens. For a carrier with 5,000 people on board, that is 120,000 pounds of laundry per week just to meet the minimum standard. In reality, the number is higher. The machines run 16 to 20 hours a day, 6 to 7 days a week, and the weekly total often reaches 150,000 pounds. Break that down and you are looking at more than 20,000 pounds processed in a single day. The 15,000 pound figure you hear is actually a conservative estimate. The real output is often higher on high-tempo deployments. And here is what makes this even more impressive. All of this happens below the waterline, deep inside the hull of the ship, in compartments that most crew members never visit. While jets are launching off the flight deck above, while reactors are generating power below, the laundry rooms are running non-stop, washing, drying, pressing, and folding in rooms filled with industrial-grade machines that weigh thousands of pounds. The crew members who work in those rooms have one of the most physically demanding jobs on the ship, and there is a reason for that. The equipment. The machines used on U.S. Navy aircraft carriers are not what you have at home. They are not even close. For more than 60 years, the Navy has relied on a company called Edro Corporation to supply the laundry equipment used on its warships. Edro has been building shipboard laundry systems since 1965, when it first installed equipment on the USS Yorktown, an Essex-class carrier. Since then, Edro machines have been installed on some of the most famous ships in U.S. naval history, including the USS Gerald R. Ford, the USS Michigan, and the USS New York. The washers on these ships are called washer extractors. They range in capacity from 20 to 200 pounds per load. That means a single machine can take 200 pounds of wet, dirty uniforms, run them through a full industrial wash cycle, and spin them at high speed to extract the water before they move to the dryers. Before we go further, take a second to hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. The dryers are equally powerful. The tumbler dryers used on carriers can handle loads of up to 110 pounds. They run at high heat and high airflow, and they are engineered to dry heavy items like work boots, coveralls, and thick blankets in a fraction of the time it would take a regular machine. The dryers are so hot that sailors who work in the laundry rooms describe the heat as overwhelming, even with the air conditioning units running at full capacity. And yes, these rooms are air-conditioned. Not for comfort, for safety. The heat generated by dozens of industrial dryers running simultaneously is intense enough to damage the equipment itself if the temperature is not controlled. The electrical load from these machines is enormous. The laundry rooms are among the highest power-consuming areas on the ship outside of the propulsion and weapons systems. Beyond the washers and dryers, each laundry facility includes pressing machines, ironing stations, folding tables, and dry cleaning units. Officers and senior enlisted personnel have their dress uniforms dry cleaned and pressed to a specific standard before port visits or formal events. There is an entire chain of processes, not just washing and drying, that happens in these rooms every day. The receiving area takes in the dirty loads. The wash and dry section runs the machines. The finishing area handles pressing and ironing. The issuing area returns the clean items to the crew. It functions like a commercial laundry operation, just with the ocean rolling under it at 30 knots. How the crew manages it. Running a laundry facility for 6,000 people is not something that just happens on its own. There is an entire division dedicated to it. On U.S. aircraft carriers, the laundry operation is managed by the Laundry Division, sometimes shortened to LDY, which falls under the Ship Services Department. These are trained sailors whose primary job is to make sure the laundry system runs without interruption, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week when the ship is deployed. Sailors do not simply walk into the laundry and throw in their clothes. There is a system. Each sailor places their dirty items into a mesh net bag. The bag is sealed shut with a large safety pin, not a small one, but a heavy-duty pin designed to hold a bag stuffed with a week's worth of uniforms and gear. The bag is labeled with the sailor's identification information so it can be tracked through the process and returned to the right person. These bags are collected from berthing compartments on a scheduled rotation. Berthing linens, sheets, pillow covers, blankets are collected separately. Medical bay linens, galley towels, and flight deck equipment covers all go through dedicated cycles on their own schedule. Here is something most people don't know. When the volume is high and the machines are running at full capacity, those heavy-duty safety pins don't always hold. The mechanical force inside an industrial washer extractor spinning at high speed can pop a safety pin open. When that happens, the bag tears and the contents spill into the drum with hundreds of pounds of other sailors' gear. Standard issue underwear, socks, and undershirts are identical across the crew. Once your items leave the bag, they rarely come back. Experienced sailors know this. The advice passed down from veteran crew members to new sailors is simple. Write your name on everything with a permanent marker. It does not always help, but it is better than nothing. The laundry staff also deals with specialized items that require extra care. Flight suits, for example, cannot go through a standard industrial cycle because the material and the fire-resistant treatment on the fabric can be damaged by high heat. They require controlled wash temperatures and specific drying protocols. The same goes for certain medical linens and items from the aviation fuel handling crew whose clothing may carry traces of jet fuel. The pressure on the laundry division is constant. If a batch is late, thousands of sailors show up to their shift without clean uniforms. If a machine breaks down during peak hours, the entire production schedule backs up. The division runs on strict timing and strict discipline, exactly what you would expect from the U.S. Navy. Water, the resource nobody talks about. Here is something that most people completely overlook when they think about laundry on a carrier. Where does the water come from? Aircraft carriers are nuclear-powered. They do not carry thousands of gallons of fresh water in storage tanks and hope it lasts for 6 months. Instead, they generate their own fresh water at sea using a process called evaporation. The ship systems use heat from the nuclear reactors to evaporate seawater, separate the salt, and produce drinkable, usable fresh water on demand. The Nimitz-class carriers use traditional steam-based evaporators. The Ford-class carriers, with their massive increase in electrical power from the A-1B reactors, have even greater capacity to produce fresh water while at sea. But here is the tension. That fresh water is shared between drinking, cooking, showering, the reactor cooling systems, fire suppression, and yes, the laundry. When engineering needs more water for propulsion or the evaporator system goes down for maintenance, the captain issues what is called a water conservation order. During those periods, laundry operations can be reduced or temporarily suspended. For sailors working back-to-back 12-hour shifts on a hot flight deck in the middle of the Persian Gulf, being told there is no clean laundry available is a serious morale issue. The Navy treats laundry availability as a quality-of-life priority for exactly this reason. A crew that feels taken care of performs better. A crew running on dirty, uncomfortable uniforms in 100-degree heat with no relief in sight starts to break down, not dramatically but quietly, in ways that affect performance and mission readiness. The laundry system, at its core, is a morale system. The U.S. military figured this out a long time ago. When it goes wrong. The most dangerous thing in a laundry room is the thing most people would never guess. It's not a heavy machine. It's not the electrical load. It's lint. Lint accumulates in dryer vents and exhaust systems. In a home dryer, a clogged lint trap is an annoyance. On an aircraft carrier, an unclean dryer vent in an industrial machine running 20 hours a day is a potential catastrophe. Lint is one of the most flammable materials in any enclosed space. Combined with extreme heat, electrical systems, and limited ventilation options on a ship at sea, it becomes a serious fire risk. Naval safety guidelines require regular inspection and cleaning of lint filters in all shipboard laundry equipment. But during extended deployments, when machines are pushed past their normal operating hours and maintenance schedules get stretched, the risk increases. On March 12, 2026, that risk became reality. A fire broke out in the main laundry area of the USS Gerald R. Ford while the carrier was deployed in the Red Sea as part of Operation Epic Fury. The fire started in a dryer vent. It spread quickly. 3 sailors were injured, 2 of them non-life-threatening, and 1 serious enough to be flown off the ship for treatment. The fire took 30 hours to fully contain and clean up, 30 hours during one of the most intense carrier deployments in recent U.S. military history. The USS Gerald R. Ford had been at sea for far longer than a standard 6-month rotation. The extended deployment meant equipment that would normally be taken offline for service had been running continuously. According to maritime expert Sal Mercogliano, who commented publicly on the incident, overextended equipment operating past its normal service window dramatically increases the probability of both mechanical and human error. The carrier remained fully operational. Sorties resumed within 2 days. The crew responded to the fire the way U.S. Navy sailors always respond, with discipline, speed, and control. But the incident made one thing clear. The laundry room is not just a background operation, it is a critical system, and when it goes down, people take notice, at every level of command. Conclusion. Most people who have never served do not think about what it takes to keep thousands of military personnel functioning at sea for months at a time. They think about the jets. They think about the weapons. They think about the radar. They do not think about the fact that at 3 a.m, deep inside the hull of a nuclear-powered aircraft carrier, a team of sailors is loading 200-pound drums of wet uniforms into industrial machines just so the next shift can wake up with something clean to wear. They do not think about the water rationing, the lint fires, the lost socks, the mesh bags that burst in the spin cycle, the pressing stations that run all night before a port visit, or the laundry division sailors who work a job that is loud, hot, and physically exhausting and never get talked about. The U.S. military has always understood something that the rest of the world tends to overlook. Taking care of the basics, food, rest, clean uniforms, is not separate from mission readiness. It is mission readiness. The men and women who keep these systems running are not glamorous. They do not get the documentaries and the feature films. But without them, nothing else on that ship works the way it should. 15,000 pounds a day, 150,000 pounds a week, 6,000 people. 6 months at sea. That is what it takes to run a floating city. If you found this look inside the U.S. Navy's carrier operations as fascinating as we did, hit that like button and subscribe. More content like this is coming, and you will not want to miss it.